My big dream since when I was a child driving historic Route 66 started exactly in this moment. During the flight from Zurich to Chicago, I had some time to read my travel guide, America's legendary highway from Chicago to LA. As I was finished with the passport control and passing the U.S. border control, I went immediately to the famous Chicago Metro. The classic silver design you probably know from old movies. Yes, it was a real thing here. So I took all my stuff and got from the airport at the suburbs to Jackson Station, downtown Chicago. What a big place. What a time to go to America. I was finally here, in the land of the free. The land of opportunity. Welcome to the USA. Chicago was stunning. All of these crazy buildings and nearly exotic flavors, noises, and sights. I went to the center of downtown Chicago. It was around 10 p.m. as I found myself in a drive-by of pro-Trump supporters, as well as LGBT rights protesters at the same time within their big pickup trucks and neon-lightened Camaros and Corvettes.
Lake. We're going to the lake now. Lake Michigan. Crowded. Look at this.
I went to the Lake Michigan. Its size is just ridiculous compared to my home lake, Lake of Constance. This is a sea, not a lake.
If you like the rhythm, if you like the blues, if you like the beat that makes you move, if you can't give up, if you can't move on, let go.
Oh my god. We're going up this tower now.
One bass, under one treble, under under me, sensei. Everybody knows that we be rebels. Follow your senses to higher levels. Transform musical connections. Time is introspective.
In the evening, I walked to western downtown Chicago. There you will find the tallest tower in the Western Hemisphere. The Willis Tower has a height of 527 meters.
We set it straight, cause the music be the movement. We come in heavyweight. To the rhythm, the music you've been given. The music is the movement, this is how we come to live it. To the rhythm, the music you've been given. The music is the movement, this is how we come to live it.
As it was getting darker and the night was coming, I was following the old paths of Al Capone and Co. during a gangster tour.
The backstage area. Like Frank Sinatra.
That's cool.
Special effect.
Like this, son.
Special effect.
Turn it back.
Special effect.
Like this, son.
Special effect.
Turn it back.
To the rhythm, the music you've been given. The music is the movement, this is how we come to live it. To the rhythm, the music you've been given. The music is the movement, this is how we come to live it. Roll to the rhythm, the music you've been given. The music is the movement, this is how we come to live it. Roll to the rhythm, the music you've been given. The music is the movement, this is how we come to live it.
I decided to do something very American tonight, a baseball game. So I went to Addison District where the Wrigley Field Stadium is. It was a great experience, and so different to German or European sports like football. Cubs fans were coming late to the game, were drinking and eating all the time, and some did not even watch the game. But nevertheless, it was worth it. Even just to hear this classic organ music for the baseball teams. By the way, Cubs won versus Milwaukee. Yes, this was a derby. And yes, Brewers go home to Milwaukee. I got my car at Hertz location in downtown Chicago, and there it was. My car for my entire journey.
It's Kia Optima S.
For the distance Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California. I was super excited which car I would get.
We have a Kia Optima here. As you can see, it is quite modern, it is quite good. Now we are driving the Route 66. We're driving the Route 66 all the way down to LA. So let's go.
I took my car and drove to the starting point of historic Route 66, Illinois. First touched my new friend for the next weeks, this legendary street. My first stop was not a popular spot, but the first real Route 66 town on my way down to LA with some 1960s vibes. I took a stop at Gemini Giant in Wilmington, about 8 meters high, which has been standing next to the Launching Pad Diner since the 1960s. During this time, you could find countless of these statues all over America as advertising media of all kinds. After a couple of hours driving with first impressions of wide fields of countryside Illinois, I took a break at a private cornfield ranch drive in Godley. As I got hungry, I saw this lovely little Route 66 town called Dwight. Dwight has this kind of a diner you want to find at the end of a long day on Route 66. My final destination for today was Springfield, Illinois, after a 220 miles drive. As I walked out, I noticed again, I am in America. When you go out, using your feet instead of your car in America after 9 p.m., and you are not in a mega city as Chicago or New York, you have to know that just crazy people, junkies, and dangerous guys are walking around. Normal people take the car only.
And a special thing I like in America is Holy Bible. We are in the Midwest.
I wanted to learn something about the capital of Illinois. And no, the Simpsons are not living here and never did. So I visited the state capital. There was an interview of the governor of Illinois inside. In all of Illinois, my Optima and me touched some very old parts of the Route 66 from 1928. The original Route 66 was opened in 1926. In the south of Illinois, near the Missouri border, I tried some local milkshake in Hamel. So American. As I passed first U.S. state border on my journey on 66 from Illinois to Missouri, I recognized the famous old Chain of Rocks Bridge. It spans the Mississippi River on the north edge of St. Louis, Missouri. Originally a motor route, the bridge was for a time the route used by U.S. Route 66 to cross over the Mississippi.
Yeah. Everybody trying to get a piece of the pie, but so am I. I'ma get the bag, give me cash like the lottery. Niggas think they bad, they just mad they came out of me. Money on my mind like I just got a lobotomy. Worst ATM, I'ma be where the dollars be.
Give me my money, give me my cash, yeah, give me some. Sorry, my homie, I gotta dash, yeah, I gotta run to the check. Give me my power, give me respect, like Gillette. We are coming for your neck. Who's next? Yeah, who next? My homie looking too vexed. I told him ain't no limit, then he asked me how I do that. Stay grounded like two flats, collect all your ducats, then grab the bag.
As I arrived in St. Louis, I had a very interesting talk with Artur from Albania. He was the valet parking man of the last hotel. He told me that he was having 3 jobs in parallel. He said that he was living in St. Louis since 3 years now, but was still scared of the U.S.
Everybody move out the way, trying to get the money, gotta pay my dues anyway, gotta get the money, I'm not trying to lose anything, gotta get the money, I've been working hard every day, trying to get the...
He told me that there were about 5 death tolls just in this downtown hotel street during his last 3 years working there. According to him, St. Louis was one of the most dangerous cities all over the United States.
The alarm on the beat, I'ma blow, you will see, like a bomb full of heat. You don't work, you don't get it, then you're not gonna eat.
R.I.P. to the...
This corner here, there are 5 deaths in the last 3 years. This store, it was full of glass, now it is wood.
I'm a G, get the honey, I'm a B. Yes, it's funny, come a D. I'm a dog, you a flea. Feel the safe, turn the key. There is nothing that is free. Even love costs a fee. Wait, tell me what you're gonna do if they would take away your dollar. I'ma have the hoodie on it, then I gotta rob the robber. You don't really want it if you're sleeping like it's no tomorrow. Friends and family.
After I met Artur, I visited Gateway Arch. The elegant structure stands on the banks of the Mississippi River and symbolizes the gateway to the mythical Midwest of the USA.
It is the gateway to the west, where I'm heading today. Let's go west.
Move out the way, trying to get the money, gotta pay my dues anyway, gotta get the money, I'm not trying to lose anything, gotta get the money, I've been working hard every day, trying to get the dollar, everybody move out the way, trying to get the dollar, gotta pay my dues anyway, gotta get the dollar, I'm not trying to lose anything, gotta get the dollar.
On the day I left St. Louis, I wanted to see something more about this city. Just 5 miles away from quite dangerous urban downtown, there is the district around the Forest Park. It is strange, but Artur told me that here were living some of the richest Americans, just close to the ghettos of suburbia St. Louis. Fact is that even today, when you leave Illinois, you enter a different world. The further you go the Midwest, the more rural and simple lifestyle becomes, the more conservative the attitudes. The upcoming region is known as the Bible Belt. Needless to say, you shouldn't mess with religion here. This chapter was full of country music and soul fool in northern Missouri. The state of Missouri was named after Missouri River. Missouri means city of big canoes. The Show Me state combines Mississippi and Missouri rivers, two of the largest and longest rivers in the world. As I hit the road in Newburgh, I was quite surprised. Besides the high amount of Baptist churches, this town looked like a mix of a German town with a Western movie village. Newburgh was established in 1883 by the St. Louis-San Francisco Railway as a division point for the railroad, where locomotives stopped for repairs and to change crews. Here in southern Missouri, mythical Ozarks begin. Speaking of the Ozarks, where is Marty Bird? After driving around the foothills of the Ozarks in my Optima for a few hours, I saw a very strange town called Uranus. Don't confuse Uranus with a town. Uranus has a total population of 25. I drove there, and it was the perfect strange mix of old Route 66 side road culture with a modern theme park. Next stop, Lebanon. Archways speaking of Lebanon, our town, your town, were placed on the roads leading into the town of 1950s-style Lebanon. My last stop for this chapter was Springfield, Missouri. Lay ready the second Springfield on Route 66. I checked into the best Western Route 66 Railhaven Motel. The exterior was very reminiscent of the 1950s, but the rooms were very modern. The Elvis Presley room featured an Elvis Cadillac bed, who himself stayed at the motel several times.
I'm searching for a lady from Mobile, Alabama.
When I got hungry in the evening, there was a historic place called Steak and Shake. What a feeling to get food there. I felt like Elvis in 1955. By the way, Springfield is the birthplace of Route 66.
I was left with mixed feelings as she cut me to the bone. Hey, operator, I need a Nashville connection. Fill you in on anything, I build a mansion.
It was time. Time to leave. Leave for the Ozarks Mountains. What a romantic, beautiful region.
In the middle of Missouri.
Laid her eyes on me, and now I'm standing at this altar. I was left here all alone. I met the devil's daughter as she cut me to the bone.
It was in this moment as I was thinking of these nostalgic moments of driving down Missouri's 66, which I would remember all of my life.
Hey, operator, I need a Nashville connection.
Everything was green, lonely, and at the same time linked through the mother road.
I worked the swing shift, she's hooked me up at 3. I guess she up and split, brushed this cobweb from my...
After several roads of the old 66, which took me down the Missouri Big Prairie country, I arrived in Carthage. Carthage was a special city. You could smell the old big money in the air in this cute little town. A lot of Victorian buildings, mixed up with classic American country homes. But the highlight for the Route 66 part of Carthage was, of course, the nice 66 drive-in cinema. However, the road now led me to Carterville. Right after that, Route 66 made a wide S-curve towards Webb City. In Webb City, I found Route 66 Chamber of Commerce. There was nothing going on in this very empty town. It almost seemed like the first harbinger of numerous ghost towns to come later.
Mobile, Alabama. She took off to Nashville in my 60s Catalina.
Welcome to Kansas. Even though the state of Kansas has the shortest stretch of historic Route 66 at just 13.2 miles, the state boasts the most attractions per mile. Between Galena, Riverton, and Baxter Springs, you'll find attractions like Cars on the Route and Nelson's Old Riverton store, which has been serving food since 1925. Incidentally, Galena most recently served as the model for the movie location of Radiator Springs in the movie Cars. Facing the vast horizon above flat, green, and now even slightly reddish fields, it was written on the border, "Welcome to Oklahoma, Native America." Yes, I was really here. Oklahoma, the epitome of rural America, the boundless expanse and the strongly rooted Indian tribes. The first real city on the way to this fourth U.S. state on 66 was Miami, not Florida, Oklahoma. On the way to Veneta, Oklahoma, I saw free-ranging buffalo grazing near the route, passing ranches with large longhorn cattle heads as entrance signs. First signs of the wild, wide West. Open horizons and huge ranches accompanied me on the first miles through this unique U.S. state. Quite fittingly, the next emotional attraction came right away. My mother had told me in amazement while still in Germany that there was a blue whale on Route 66. A blue whale on the main street of America? I thought to myself at home, but when I now faced it, I could look at it with my own eyes, just as astonished.
Catoosa blue whale. Near to Tulsa.
As I approached the Catoosa suburb of metropolitan area Tulsa after countless ranches, I drove past the Catoosa Inland Port. This is Oklahoma's gateway to the Gulf of Mexico. Oklahoma's second largest metropolis, Tulsa. But before going into the center, I drove through the endless streets of suburbia. During that time I traveled to Tulsa, there was a big shooting in a hospital near downtown. The New York Times wrote, "A man carrying a rifle and a handgun opened fire in a medical office building in Tulsa."
Was the Tulsa shooting in Oklahoma 5 days ago in San Francis Hospital. It's crazy.
1st of June 2022 afternoon. The spate of gun violence has included the killing of 19 children and 2 teachers at a Texas elementary school and the killing of 10 people in a racist attack at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York. Democrats have amplified their calls for greater restrictions on guns. Route 66 in Tulsa led to extreme contrasts. On the one hand, Oklahoma's second-largest city flirted with modern coolness. On the other hand, the city of 400,000 inhabitants was the site of the world's largest sculpture of hands folded in prayer under the banner of all Baptist, Presbyterian, and all other churches of rural America. The stone-built Rock Cafe in Stroud, OK, was the first stop after Tulsa. I got out and admired the lovingly furnished original interior and exterior of the old-time bar. Pastures, scrubland, red earth, and green forests showed Oklahoma's countryside at its best on the way to Chandler. Next destination, Oklahoma City.
Gasoline off in my cup, gasoline off in we ride. Gasoline off in my cup, gasoline off in we lit. Gasoline off in my cup, gasoline off in we ride. Gasoline off in my cup, gasoline off in we ride. Coming down with the pretty
Oklahoma City, I took 2 days for one place for the first time since Chicago.
With a gangster lean, shawty, I'm doing my thing, yeah. Coming down so lit, coming through in the whip on tilt, swinging through with the rim on stilts, in a cup full of liquor I sip. Ain't I turn? Look at the way I'm burnt, making my way to the limelight and I shine bright. She wanna see what I'm like, and the way that I'm gonna spend my night. Cup on full, wrist on glow. Niggas so geek like I just sniff blow. Go ahead and be a freak, baby, you can dip low. It's just you and me, nobody even gotta know. A pocket full of green and a blunt full of smoke. Gasoline in my lungs and throat. Better let me be, it's a do my thing. Coming down clean, nigga feeling so mean. You know I'm right.
True cowboy culture. Wild West romance in Oklahoma City. Yes, you heard that right. At the Oklahoma City Fairgrounds or at one of the many other rodeo events in Oklahoma, there are still real cowboys and cowgirls roping and riding horses and bulls.
We're in Oklahoma City now, going to the state fair.
I wanted to get to know the cowboy culture of this city, which is rather unknown to Europeans despite its size. First and foremost, this included a visit to the Memorial Museum of Bombing, 1995. On April 19, 1995, right-wing extremist Timothy McVeigh set off a car bomb in Oklahoma City. 168 people died, including 19 children. It was the most serious attack in U.S. history up to that time.
Let it all go to waste, man. Like an old head surfing at the bar with his hand out saying, hey, let me get a taste, man. In my old school with the V8 pedal to the metal, hoping that the cops don't chase me. But my beats up high and I'm feeling so fly. Oh my gosh, you know I ride. Coming down with the pretty brain, you know I'm fly. Got a cup so full of that lean, don't blow my high. Cause I'm on that gasoline, chillin' with a gangster lean. Shawty, I'm doing my thing, yeah. Gasoline is on, gasoline don't finish. Gasoline is on, shawty. Gasoline is on.
OKC's lively downtown, the creative district of Bricktown Canals. It seemed very European, a contrast to everything I had seen in the last few days.
Bum, 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 smoking on that. Bum, 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 sipping on that. Bum, 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 we ride up in that. We lit. Bum, bum, bum.
Welcome to cowboy country, as a radio host kept emphasizing during my drive through Oklahoma's landscapes.
We ride down that. We lit. You know I ride.
Nothing embodies the American Wild West better than the cowboy. To understand the culture, I visited the National Cowboy Museum in a suburb of OKC. Oklahoma's nickname, the Sooner State, refers to the millions of settlers who flocked to central Oklahoma to stake out their land in the late 19th century, even before territory was officially open. The stockyards in Oklahoma City. They've grown since their beginnings in 1910 to become the largest transshipment center for cattle. This was a must-see for me on Route 66, as was the legendary Cattleman's Restaurant. It was time to leave OKC. It was a good time there, but I was even more excited to go west. I drove down to El Reno, where some floodings were kind of a roadblock for me and my Optima. But no worries, we made our way through this red mud hell. Enough of vibrant cosmopolitan vibes from downtown OKC. Back to the roots of America, roots displayed by America's Main Street. In Clinton, I found a cute, beautiful Route 66 museum. Showdown in Ghost Town. Coming closer to Texas state line, it was getting hotter and hotter. Streets were getting more empty until I ended up in a city called Texola, last stop in Oklahoma. Hello, Texas. Finally arrived at the Panhandle State, and here I came.
So now we are crossing the Texas border. I'm very excited for Texas, for the big Texas ranches. So let's go. By the way, that looks like the storage shutters behind me. This is McLean. It's a ghost town, I think. pretty empty ghost town. We're heading now to Amarillo, Texas, and we are crossing the Panhandle of Texas, a little part of Texas in the north, Amarillo this night, to go to New Mexico after that.
After driving through lush grasslands through Dust Bowl, Texas, I arrived at Shamrock. Here I got off to check out the Art Deco jewel in Shamrock. This was on every Route 66 fan's bucket list long before that term existed. The U Drop In Cafe. After the rather quiet Oklahoma, here follows a powerhouse of a state. Nearly 30 million inhabitants. An area almost twice the size of Germany. This is the basis for the pronounced self-confidence of the Lone Star State, Texas. In the meantime, the billions earned by oil and meat industries may have been absorbed by skyscrapers with mirrored glass facades. Nevertheless, people here still proudly wear their cowboy boots to go shopping. Before arriving at my day destination in Amarillo, I wanted to discover a little bit more of Texas's unbelievable gorgeous nature. So I said to myself, I will be here most likely only once in my life. Let's take the long way. Want a first impression of the scenic spectacle of true Wild West? Then it's worth visiting Palo Duro Canyon half an hour off the original route. A first taste of the wild red U.S. West is hidden just 50 kilometers southeast of Amarillo in the shape of Palo Duro Canyon, the Grand Canyon of Texas. With a length of 193 kilometers, an average width of 10 kilometers, and a maximum depth of 270 meters, the canyon is the second largest in the USA after the Grand Canyon. The Big Texan Steak Ranch. This is an institution on the Route 66 with the biggest steaks in the world. I met a very nice American family near to my table. They came from California on their way to move from California to Tennessee. Shout out to Trucking America with Velox 18. Another day, another highlight. Anyway, that was the spirit of Route 66, the Cadillac Ranch. Yes, the real ranch that you know from Hollywood blockbusters. Just before New Mexico border, its halfway point on Route 66, the village of Adrian, Texas, lays claim to being right in the middle of Chicago and Los Angeles. A few rusty wind turbines stand in the shadow of their efficient contemporaries. The road? It's almost 20 meters wide, Texan style. On the way to New Mexico. That sounded like a very exotic, faraway place somewhere in my dreams. But it was real, and now it was time to enter this state. Only one more ghost town separated me from New Mexico. Glen Rio. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the land of enchantment. It was truly enchanting down in New Mexico.
Just past the border to New Mexico, and it's getting more looking like a desert here. We have a lot of space in here. It's Route 66 sign. Starting here from New Mexico.
Tucumcari. In Tulsa, okay, Brian Mark from Georgia had told me that I should definitely come here. Tucumcari showed like hardly any other place what a devastating influence the cancellation of the original route of Route 66 in New Mexico had. Nevertheless, in the middle of the desert in Tucumcari, some true treasures of the motel classics could hold on. I drove down to Guadalupe County, one of the poorest regions in America. Wide, open ranges, only inhabited by cows and red ground. Isolated, but beautiful. This felt like the Wild West out here. Closer to Las Vegas. And no, it's not Nevada. It's Las Vegas in New Mexico. The landscape changed from wide-open yellow-brown lands to mountains and more greenish vegetation. After some time of driving through brown rock and impressive high country, I became aware of Pecos National Park because of a large sign on the side road. In this region, risk for forest fires is high. On this day, it was even classified extremely high. Santa Fe. What a name. All the way through New Mexico and also already in Texas, I was accompanied by the legendary Santa Fe Express Railroad and trains. Now I had made it to the city. Santa Fe was impressively different. It resembled more a European city in Spain than a well-known large American place.
Driving now through Santa Fe, European city with influences from Pueblo, Indians, Native Americans. Very beautiful. It's more European style than the other cities and towns on the way through Missouri, Oklahoma.
After exploring Santa Fe, I left the city and set course back to the Mother Road. First stop, Pueblo Indian Tribe in Santo Domingo. After Santa Fe, Route 66 led to the second major city in New Mexico. The center of the whole state seemed to be here. I knew this city and the whole region from world-famous series Breaking Bad. More about that later. The city seemed somewhat plastic and was the complete American counterpart to the European-looking Santa Fe. As already mentioned, the city with the difficult-to-pronounce name was the setting for Breaking Bad.
Now, Albuquerque, home of Breaking Bad.
It was crazy to see it in real life. When you're on Route 66 in America, you should definitely see things like that, no matter how strange they sound in the first place.
This is Acoma Sky City, New Mexico. Entry is not allowed today for non-tribal persons like me.
Following the numerous ghost towns, I drove into deep Native American territory. I was the only person on the road for 40 miles. No car, no human. Finally reached the incredible Sky City in Acoma, a city built on a huge monolith in the middle of the desert. Later in the noon, I reached the Wild West town of Thoreau. Huge farms lined up with churches and Native American casinos. At the moment when I wanted to get out my car and have a look at the town, 2 wild dogs came around the corner. Continental Divide. What a name. At this point, rainfall divides either to the Pacific or Atlantic Oceans. Gallup, New Mexico, as the song Route 66 goes. A famous place from the past with a big station for the Santa Fe Railroad trains. I arrived in town and first discovered the El Rancho Hotel known from old Hollywood. Since Gallup is the last town in New Mexico, one thing was clear. The next day, I was off to the next U.S. state. Arizona, another name associated with many things and people. For me, it was the following: arch conservatives, guns, desert, cactus, vast land, and Arizona iced tea. In other words, a perfect 1960s America here on Route 66, Arizona. Once the Arizona border was crossed, my Kia Optima took me on an endless straight road into the pure desert. Here I stopped at an unbelievable, bizarre landscape near Burnside. What an appropriate town name that was, I only now realized. It looked like this was a mix between Death Valley and Painted Desert. And the best was that there was no single tourist around this spot.
I'ma wait until it's too late, and I needn't wait for long.
We're now going to the Hope Arch, and I don't know if we will do this. 37 degrees.
When I wake, you're gone. And I just
This spectacle was followed by the next one. I thought that Hope Arch can be reached on a normal road. Unfortunately, it was not. Off-road and all that with a Kia Optima sedan in 40 degrees heat. I had to abort the mission after 8 miles when I saw that the road was getting worse and worse. Also, there was a small sandstorm that hit my car. But at least I saw the Hope Arch from a distance.
It's yours to take, and there's nothing I can do. Oh, whatever's wrong, it's all been said and done. I don't care no more, it's all been said and done.
At this moment, 1 hour after Arch Hope's search, my thoughts were containing 3 words only. I am lost.
Here for me, and I can't count the lights throughout, but there's many more than dreams.
Monument Valley.
And I should have left you alone, and I gotta make a new home. So how long till you're up and gone, and you take my life with you? Why wait? It's yours to take, and there's nothing I can do. Oh, whatever's wrong, it's all.
Ever since I saw the movie Forrest Gump, I dreamed of traveling to this place. Many years later, I was finally there at Monument Valley. Nothing more needs to be said about this incredible place. You have to experience it.
I never saw this coming. I thought you would always be mine, mine. So how long till you're up and gone, and you take my life with you? Why wait? It's yours to take, and there's nothing I can do. Oh, whatever's wrong, it's all been said and done. I can't take no more, we are said and done.
Goulding's Lodge, Monument Valley. It was a nice resort complex where you could rent a cabin in the Canyon Mountains, the only motel in about 30 miles. The next day, I did an off-road Jeep tour through Navajo area of Monument Valley. There, I met Pablo and Alvaro from Madrid in the Jeep, the first Europeans I had met since Chicago. The nature out here was just stunning. Do I really have to mention that? First arrived at Grand Canyon, I was just impressed at all. The pure size could not be described by words. I drove through Grand Canyon National Park until my car broke down. My car kept reporting that the engine wasn't working properly and it couldn't clean itself. So I drove all the way to my motel in Grand Canyon Junction, a good 40 miles south, with a broken engine at a maximum of 50 miles on the highway. That was a struggle, especially uphill. No matter what was with my car, I was here to go into the Grand Canyon. My car could wait. So I drove back to Grand Canyon South Rim with my broken car and started hiking Bright Angel Trail at 10 a.m.
Walking down the Bright Angel Trail in the Grand Canyon. Walk to Colorado River, maybe a little bit more, about 5 hours. So let's start this. Hopefully it will not get too hot. I'm a little bit late, but don't worry. Just look at this.
Every turn brought an impossibly more beautiful view as you drop deeper into the canyon.
We're heading now to Indian Creek. It's like this little oasis there. The ranger said this is the farthest point he would go, so today, because it's too hot inside the canyon, inside Colorado River, it looks like very close there, but it is a quite long way and I'm just going down.
Hey darling, where you wanna go? My heart is burning for your soul. Hey darling, where you wanna go? Now my heart is burning for your soul. From From stars that are pinned up in the sky to ocean beds not seen by the eye, I led river walkers to a place.
Way down to Indian Garden was about 4.5 miles. From 3 Mile Rest House, a series of switchbacks known as Jacob's Ladder takes you down the Red Wall limestone. The most of the few people who were left after 3 Miles Rest House just returned from that point to the South Rim top.
Heart is burning for your soul. I've been staring at the sun, too scared and afraid to run. I found I'd do it all again. You gotta know I'll be here in the end. So hey darling, where you wanna go? My heart is burning for your soul. Hey darling, where you wanna go? Now my heart.
So we are now heading to the ground of Grand Canyon.
Finally, I arrived at the very bottom, the ground of the Grand Canyon. Here I found a small creek, Colorado River. Of course not. It is a huge, fast river. I found a side creek with a waterfall to cool me down. The best swim for a long time. It was about 45 degrees Celsius down there. Official advice: consult a park ranger before heading down to the Colorado River for safety tips and overnight permits. Destinations below Indian Garden are not recommended day hikes due to the long distance, extreme temperature changes, and a 3,000 meters elevation change.
The rim again, and I have to do this today, so I'm just the half of the distance now, not even.
Now it was about the hard part. After just walking down very smooth, this way up should show who can do it and who not. If not, you have to ride a mule up there like an idiot. I was starting turbo to get up very fast without rest stops to be back at the rim before sunset. At 7 p.m., after starting at 10:30 a.m., I arrived at top of South Rim after 31 kilometers distance and 3,000 meters elevation in Grand Canyon from 30 to 46 degrees Celsius, as well as 12L drinking water. It felt like this was a new record, and definitely one of the best things I have done in my life.
Summer nights, you've been heavy on my mind, child. I catch a flight, I'll be to you on the weekend. Let's back it up, let's drive LA on time.
The next day, I drove my broken KIA another 55 miles to the next town in the area. This was Flagstaff, the place where I was to meet Route 66 again. Why Flagstaff? Luckily, at my motel, I was able to talk to my car rental company on the only phone in town. They told me to take the car to Flagstaff if I could somehow. Somehow, my KIA and I made it there as well.
By my side, oh, by my side, by my side, oh, oh.
Once we arrived, I had to trade in my 2018 KIA Optima for a 2020 Honda Fit at the Flagstaff Airport. A bit of a downgrade because it's much smaller, but I was happy to have my car driving safely again.
These golden days are hanging by a thread now. Back it up, let's
After my stay in Flagstaff, it was back on the road. I came to one of the most important places on Hole 66, Seligman, because of 2 women and 1 man. I met 2 women from Switzerland who immigrated to the US 45 years ago. Lilo, the owner, came from Schaffhausen, Switzerland, just 20 minutes from my hometown Radolfzell. Such a crazy world. They were very friendly, and finally I got a good coffee in America. Angel Delgadillo, born in 1927, is the guardian angel of US Route 66. He is a main founder of the historic Route 66 Association of Arizona, established in 1987 to campaign for historic Route 66 signage on the former U.S. highway. He was interviewed more than 3,000 times. Unfortunately, I did not meet him in his barber shop, but his daughter, who runs the business now. After a long drive through the desert of Arizona and passing over to 9th U.S. state Nevada, I met an old companion again. One day after hiking down Grand Canyon to Colorado River, I met the river again, just more southern at the Hoover Dam. There I was. After leaving Arizona to Nevada, I was in the city of Sin, Las Vegas. This time, not New Mexico, no, it was Nevada this time. After arriving at my decadent Hilton Resorts World Hotel, I was off to explore the city.
To do more, but the space we in can't ignore no more. I guess it wasn't enough. Maybe it was just too much. Maybe real life isn't like what's on TV. Let's want to a whole lot of work. Change. Why couldn't you change with me, baby? Cause I couldn't stay the same. Cause I got big plans and the old me would never last. And I told you that. You tell me that you love me, but you had to play my game with me. Why you do this, play this mind game? Then come back and say you love me, you love me. You're telling me it's a love thing, but you had to play my game with me. So why you...
I left Las Vegas after only one night. For me, this was not America. It was a make-believe world, full of craziness. But even after 2 days there, I was bored with this fake bubble. Nevertheless, a good experience. Now, I said, back to Route 66. Finally, I arrived in the last state of Route 66, the land of dreams, the 10th state on my way. In the 1930s, during the Dust Bowl days of the Midwest, thousands fled to the paradise of California. Nowadays, you could still feel this spirit at the state border. California was actually the reason for existence of Route 66, linking old U.S. East Coast with the new Golden West.
Route 66. Reached California, now it's the last part of the Route 66. We're heading to Joshua Tree, so we are leaving Route 66 a little bit because Route 66 will disappear in Los Angeles or the suburbs of Los Angeles, so we do a little bit more for the last part only.
Before I hit Joshua Tree National Park, I drove through the whole Mojave Desert, the first landscape you see when coming from Nevada to Cali.
Joshua Tree National Park.
And out of nothing, desert changes with incredible rock formations and strange-looking plants called Joshua trees.
Pop your feet on the dashboard while the window's down. Life's a breeze, darling, when you are around. Hey, we could go far away now, driving straight through the night. Hey, as long as you ride beside me, you know I'll be fine. Let's go far away and live out these golden days. We could dance on the moonlight without a care in the world. Talk about all the places that we could go. Oh, let's go far away and live out these golden days.
I was California dreaming on my way from Joshua Tree National Park down Palm Springs.
Let's go far away and live out.
Finally made it to Palm Springs, and immediately I realized the difference between California and the rest of the states I traveled to during that time. California was so much more European, almost not American compared to the others. Example, here there were bike lines on the road for real bikes.
Welcome to Los Angeles, LA. Welcome to the end of the Route 66. We are now heading to a small city tour through Bel Air and Beverly Hills, Malibu, Eastern Malibu, and Pacific Palisades. And then we're heading to the end of the Route 66. It's Santa Monica Pier. I'm so glad that we made it up to here after this long journey. It's crazy. Look at this. It's Los Angeles here.
Wow, hello LA, I thought when I hit the first LA sign on the side road. I made it from east to west, from Chicago, Illinois to the Pacific Ocean in LA, California. That was the American dream.
Target type 1, murder. Those are going forward right now. Rapid fire with.
We're the image of the same God, beds of the same flock, with the same dog. Take these chains off. This ain't drugs, this is playing crops. I'ma quit this shit, get a paying job. I'ma spit this shit when I make songs. I scribble. And my name is Scribble. I go insane when I scribble.
Now I wanted to discover this metropolis of LA. The differences between rich and poor were more obvious here than anywhere else on my route.
Rocks all in that rollie and they all shine. And now they're hating hot like all time. I fuck around and run it up. I ain't going back down. Remember I was fucked up. Ain't no turning back now. Why the fuck they pocket?
We're going to Universal Studio Pictures.
Tripping over these niggas cause they in the way. But I'm running through them hoes cause I make them pay. And I really had to get it, nigga, I was hurting.
Just 3 miles before arriving at my hotel in Venice, I suddenly heard a huge on the street. It was my front left tire. And again, I had to call road emergency assistant from Hertz. As I had no American phone number, I could not call them with my own phone. I walked the rest of the way to my hotel. It was 11 p.m., dark and in the middle of a homeless and hippie community where I parked my car and where I had to go all the way to my hotel. It was a huge experience, and now I can laugh. But in this particular moment, I could definitely not laugh.
See it in her eyes, she's steady until someone comes and knocks her down. Watch out, her face is turning red. Watch out, the heat is going to her head. Watch out, her time is just about her. It's not if it's when, better take cover. She'll blow in seconds. Yeah. Count 3, 2, 1. Hold your guns, 'cause she's a ticking time bomb. She's calm.
When arrived from downtown to Hollywood, there was a tour for seeing all of the celebrities' homes in the Hollywood Hills.
Deep breath and let it go. Watch out, her face is turning red. Watch out, the heat is going to her head. Watch out, her time is just about her. It's not if it's when, better take cover. She'll blow in seconds.
Venice Beach.
Sunset illuminates the lake. Spring to fall, seasons change for our sake. To see the signs of life and to know the coming days. And when it's time for us to fade away.
I stayed for 6 more days in Venice Beach, home of Muscle Beach, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Skateboard Plaza, weed shops, and surfers. To sum up my last days in LA, cruised to Santa Monica Pier, received the certificate of completion of driving Route 66, went to the most western point of Route 66, kayaking Marina del Rey with Stanislav and Jacob from the Netherlands and Lithuania, and had dinner at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company.
Sink or can you mean a GoPro? Yeah, or with a will stay in water. No, it's sinkable.
So I'm recording right now. Recording. Oh shit. That was scary. Oh shit. That was scary. That first roar.
It was a long way, nearly 5,000 kilometers on historic Route 66, crossing the North American continent from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California. Finally arrived at the last point on land, Santa Monica Pier, LA, 10 US states, 3 time zones, and so many stops on the road. Goodbye, America, goodbye, Route 66. You showed me the real, pure America away from fancy, shiny cities like New York City or Los Angeles. It was the best American experience I could think of. Thanks to you, Route 66. See you soon.